I'm back! What's happening? Man, I feel so excited. It just feels like, well, it has been a little while, but I've been flying under the radar. I've been getting some rest, some recovery, some chill time. But I have been working on Polychrome and I've been live streaming a little bit, but now I'm back in front of the cameras and I've got some really, really fun stuff that I'm going to show you today. So, Polychrome DSP. The last time I was here on the channel, I'm not even sure we had a tuner. So, let me show you the tuner, first of all. But also, since we last spoke, I've discovered a brand new way of making some really, really great clean tones. This is a live video, by the way, so no cuts, no edits. It's just me and you, raw, straight from the cams, well, the streaming software, straight to YouTube. So I'm excited by this. So yeah, some brand new ways of making tones. And like when I discovered this, gosh, I was like, yes, this is great, because I've obviously spent so much time with Polychrome DSP, the McLaughlin suite. And just when you think you can't get another juicy tone out of it, I discovered a brand new way of making cleans, and I was like, yes. And that actually led on to other types of tones, which are going to be coming soon as well. So lots of exciting stuff and a lot of really, really cool features that we are mid-development and partly way through, which is also coming to the suite soon. Lots of really, really cool stuff. So before we dive into the tones, let me show you the tuner, because I don't think I've shown you the tuner yet, and it's very cool. Super simple. Click the tuner button, bingo bango, and you're greeted with the tuner. Now for me, I always use it on mute mode. So when you're on a live stream and you're talking, you can casually tune up. Oh, my G string's a little sharp. It's a very, very, very active tuner. It might be too active, in all honesty. So if you're very prone to like touching your strings and fumbling and trem bounces and stuff like that, for example, if I get a little bit aggressive here and I really, I don't know, how do you get aggressive when you're tuning up? Let's say I like slap the strings a lot. It's gonna jump around a little bit like that. So this is something that we may tweak further going forwards. But for me, it works very well. So you can have it on mute mode. You can have it on dry mode if you want to hear the DI input of your guitar. Or you can have it so it's the original sound. Now, Ghetto Bass is a preset that is coming in probably this version here, 1.3. But for today, I want to show you another sound, which is the brand new way of making clean tones. And the first one is called Thomas, where is it? Clean, not low gain, clean tones, Thomas Bogner style. And the reason I named the preset that is because it does remind me of my old setup where I used to have my Bogner Harlow compressor pedal going into a very elaborate rig. And at some point I was using a valve head into a load box. And it really reminded of the excitement that I would get from those type of setups. So let's have a listen to how it sounds. Let's put a beat on. So you get that really, really kind of very, very excited sort of sound, but it's still very delicate. So even though it's like very compressed and you hear it expanding outwards. If I do chill a little bit, you do get a lot of expression and flavor. It's just really, really juicy. So that's called Thomas Bogner style, and that preset is available right now. And if you haven't already updated to the latest version, then simply go to the members section of the Polychrome website and hit download on, as of the time that I'm doing this video, 1.1.2 is your latest version, and you'll find the Thomas Bogner style preset. Now there's another similar approach that I used on another preset, and I want to show you actually how I made this preset actually, and that would be rather useful. So it is a clean channel, but there's 2 drives on it. So what gives? Like, how can we have 2 overdrive pedals, yet it's sounding so damn clean? I mean, listen to that. Obviously, it's a very hyped clean, but it's not muddy, right? It's not like gain city where you've got drive or distortion. It's very... So what we're doing is we're basically adding a lot of bass in the amp and EQ, and also some resonance. So basically we have 3 stages where we're adding bass, but then we have the attacker going all out and really kind of giving us a really punchy front end, which is essentially sculpting the front end. So it's like we're giving bass, but we're taking it away, and the end result, it's like a little bit of magic. It's really, really cool. And then I also have the shredder pedal on, which is just using 0.7 on the gain, so it's very, very slight. And those 2 together, see, I also have a lot of compression and the brightness on, but that combination of heat pressor, those 2 drives, with the way that we're pushing and pulling the frequencies around, man, it's so cool. Like, if we take wide off and we change over to the chorus, a lot of fun, really, really cool. So definitely check out this preset. Now, if we go into the cleans, we also have one called Grogu. Yes, you know who it's named after. And this one, it's a little bit darker, but it still uses a similar approach, but this time it uses the tight switch instead of the bright switch. So that gives us a little bit of a different starting point. Thomas Bogner style had the bright switch on, and it didn't use the tight switch. Now we're using the other way around, and we still have the 2 drive pedals with the attacker going all in on the full attack mode, and then very, very gentle, just a smidge more on this one, but we're using different speakers on this one and a slightly different EQ. And when you hear that, super nice to play. Even if you use a humbucker, split sound. Really like full of vibes, and that's the type of sound that I use for writing songs and licks a lot, because it's very easy because there's so much excitement in the signal path. It's very easy to jam around, and melodies, they just seem to write themselves a lot easier for me anyway when I use that type of tone. So there's a couple of presets, but in the latest version there's about 19 presets added. And if you haven't updated since version 1, then there's probably a lot of brand new presets. So I highly recommend that you just visit the members section of the Polychrome website and download the latest version. And it's so cool that, you guys that bought it on version 1, you're getting these brand new sounds, and they really do sound, it sounds like a brand new signal chain. It's just really, really cool that by reordering and really carefully thinking about the signal flow and stuff, that you can get what feels like a brand new product in the same plugin. I love that. It just never ceases to amaze me. So the other thing that I wanted to show you today was how to get the most out of SynthOct, because like a lot of items in this plugin, it all really depends on how much you push things. Everything reacts to each other. The amp reacts to the drives. two drives behave different when you stack them together. Everything reacts and stuff, and that's how we're able to give these brand new type of tones a month or two after we've launched. So it's really, really fun. So for now, I'm going to load the default preset again, and then we're going to hop over to page 1 right here. I'm going to turn on SynthOct. And I want to show you something that's really, really important when you're using SynthOct. And that's not just to turn it on. I mean, you can do that. You can just have your sound like this. And you can just turn it on. But think about this. So we have a level right here, or a boost. We have a few ways right before SynthOct that we can shove a ton more energy and level into SynthOct. And like I said before, because everything reacts, let's play around with how SynthOct reacts with more level going into it. So I'm gonna turn the mix up a tad, and I'm gonna put this at about, I don't know, near enough to 50%. And I'm also going to turn off the reverb and delay so we can really hear what's going on. So let's check that out. You hear how we kind of get like a filter sweep as we push more level. So because we're shoving, or pushing, shoving's a little bit aggressive. We're pushing so much more level into the SynthOct. It's really expanding the range of that filter. And I don't think I've really mentioned that before, but some presets, they use SynthOct in this way. But if you've never thought about that and you've never tried to dial in a very resonant type of SynthOct sound, then this is how you would do that. So you'd push more level either via the boost or level. Now, one thing I also like to do is I also like to compress the signals a lot. And what that does is, if you think about it, when you compress the signal a lot, it kind of makes the level very, very steady. So SynthOct becomes very, very predictable. And sometimes I like it really wild and I have no compression and it's like very sporadic and it just does crazy things. That's really exciting. But if you want to use it for like almost like bass tones, you probably want that signal very, very consistent. And I'm going to show you how I use that on a future preset, which is going to come in version 1.13. But for now, let me show you a little bit more about just the leveling. And you hear the little sweep. That's how when I do this, that's how I can kind of get that filter sweep. And now if I dialed in that gate and turned the gate down, what we'd be able to do is just do a complete filter sweep with your volume knob. Also really, really cool. So we talked about making things like really, really smooth, like a bass preset. Now in the next version, in the dry section, we're going to have a preset called Ghetto Bass. Now in this one, you can see it's using a lot of compression. It's pushing a lot of volume and level into it. And we've got a lot of SynthOct really happening here. But then we have a lot less treble and presence and some high cut. And you can see that we've dialed back some treble at the very, very top end of it. And when you hear that together, sounds really, really cool. We have some chorus on this one. Now if I change different pickups, let's try it. unhinged harmonics. They send it like crazy, which is really fun. All right, so there we go, a couple of updates for you. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about how I do my channel switching, which is something that you see me do a lot on my live streams. I will be streaming on Twitch later today, it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday. I'm like, what day are we on? But it's Saturday, so if you have any questions, come and join me and ask away over there. But the reason I've been a little bit hesitant about releasing a video showing how exactly that I do my current live switching on the live streams is because it's going to change. We're really quite far down the progress of implementing full native MIDI in the McLaughlin suite. And for me, whew, that's going to make life a lot easier because now I'm not going to rely on using complex Ableton racks and chains and doing stuff that way. And if I was to explain the way that I'm doing it and then X amount of time later, I go, oh, it's so much easier now, you can just do this way, you'd be like, oh, why did I learn all of that, you know, brutal way of doing it as opposed to the new way. So rest assured that we're working on amazing updates, and that's just some of the things that I've announced. There's also some very cool stuff coming, which I have not yet announced. So you get the plugin, it's going to keep improving. And just like you keep improving. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out today's video. It is great to be back. I feel so hyped. And you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you back here real soon. If you've got a comment, leave it down below. If you want to request a certain type of video on this channel, drop them in the comments. And if you just want to say hi, that's just great too. All right, take care. See you soon.